So my father passed away in 2019 at the end of the year, just before the COVID pandemic, at the age of 91. But when he was 85, we put together a pretty nice little party of family and friends, and I managed to come up with a song that I sang at his 85th birthday party. It pretty much tells some of the highlights of his life growing up in the really rural parts of Tennessee in the early part of the last century. So I call it Daddy's Song. 1, 2, 3, 4. He was born in the hills of Tennessee, was the first of 14 kids in this big farming family. He learned to farm and he learned to fish, he learned to love the land. He quickly grew to be his daddy's right-hand man. He grew up straight, he grew up true. There was never much of anything that this new kid couldn't do. He came in on the wave of the Great Depression, his teen years shaped by tales of bloody war. Farm life, well, it never grants concessions. There was always food and family and always something more. He grew up straight, he grew up true. There was never much of anything that this farm boy couldn't do. Well, a country boy's life ain't ever easy. The road is often rocky, steep and rough. There's no time left for soft around the edges. Just to make it through, you grow up tough. But he grew up straight, he grew up true. There was never much of anything that this young man couldn't do. By 45, the times they were changing. He soon fell in love with lighting up the land. But his biggest love of all was soon arriving in a pretty little girl from around the bend. He saw her straight, he saw her true. He figured there's not much of anything that new girl couldn't do. Together they began to raise a family, working long and hard to see it through. Each child brought another strong commitment, and whatever came their way they always knew they'd raise them straight, they'd raise them true. Teach them there's not much of anything that a good kid couldn't do. Well, the decades roll and take their toll and life begins to fray. Loves are lost and hearts are broken, nothing more to say. It takes a strong survivor just to help us see the way. Teach us by example how to make another day. He's standing straight, he's standing true. There was never much of anything, no, never much of anything remember much of anything that my daddy couldn't do.